Hello, wonderful popular culture students. So, for this week's discussion slash assignment, like in this week's discussion, there's embedded assignments in there. We are going to talk about television. And specifically, some of it has to do with celebrities who become politicians. So, part of what I am posting in the discussion is a documentary about the movie mogul of Miramax Pictures, Harvey Weinstein. Many of you may not have heard this controversy, but Mr. Weinstein, back in the 20 teens, was finally, after many, many decades, convicted of sexually abusing women, and specifically women who would come in and they would want to be stars in a Miramax movie, and they would be auditioning, or they would be assistants or something like that, wanting to make it in the music business, or not the music business, the movie business, and he abused them, or tried to, for years and years and years. So this finally came out, and at the Golden Globes that year, at the same time, Oprah Winfrey made like a keynote speech there. And it was about the Me Too movement, and all this kind of got started the Me Too thing. So anyway, and I've also included Oprah's speech. But in light of that, it made me think, oh, after Oprah's speech, there was this big uproar about, Oprah, you should run for president, blah blah blah, and which of course she didn't do. However, it made me think of celebrities in politics. And back in 1998, 20 years before the Me Too movement started, I had written a piece as a student at Eastern Washington University that I had published in a newspaper in Spokane called The Inlander. This piece was after Jesse Ventura, the WWF wrestler, got elected governor of Minnesota. And of course, there's lots of uproar with that going on, and all this. And he himself caused a lot of uproar. He remodeled the governor's mansion to put a big world class gym in there. And he threatened to cut public radio funding because a public radio host who was very popular at the time, named Garrison Keillor, had made fun of Jesse Ventura. And so, anyway, that got me thinking as a student, not all that more advanced than you are in your education, about what would happen if we had more celebrities in politics. And so, this is a very snarky piece. It's a humor piece. It's called a polemic. And a polemic is a rant that's done in a funny way. And I'm good at writing snarky stuff. And actually, the editors of the Inlander cut out a lot of the stuff that I had written in there. But anyway, I'm going to read it to you because the original copy is gone, and the photocopied copies are hard to read. But it is a foreshadowing of today, right? And written 25, 26 years ago. So anyway, this is called Hail to the Hulk. And so I'm going to share the screen, and I will read you my piece, Hail to the Hulk. Okay, so you can probably see the screen by now. And in the Inlander, they had this opinion column called The Last Word, which is what I submitted it to. This is called Hail to the Hulk. If wrestlers ran the country, life would be, well, more like Minnesota, by Janet Hamilton, which is my former last name. Minnesota may not seem like the cutting edge place to be. However, in the midst of all those toothy Scandinavians, an American hero is fighting for his political life. The outcome may even determine America's destiny in the new millennium. The colorful governor of Minnesota, former professional wrestler Jesse "the Body" Ventura, is facing a barrage of criticism. Not only is he getting picked on by some Minnesotans who are angry over his renovation of the governor's mansion into an upscale personal gym, he's also catching some heat over his autobiography, which includes lurid details of his life as a wrestler. And as if that isn't enough, the Body is also finding himself in the crosshairs of namby-pamby author and public radio talk show host Garrison Keillor. Keillor told Time magazine that Jesse was, quote, a great big honking, bullet-headed, shovel-faced mother who talks in a steroid growl, unquote. The Body responded bravely by threatening to kill funding for Minnesota Public Radio. Nobody but weak little granola-crunching, paper-pushing, gun control advocating bookworms listens to public radio anyway. However, the question remains, why not have a real man as governor or, gasp, even as president? Not one to be outdone, the one and only Hollywood Hulk Hogan is planning a bid for the presidency in 2000. Yes, President of the United States Hulkster. The Body will have to settle for being Hulkster's running mate since his biceps are smaller than Hulk's. But what a team! When bills get stalled in Congress, Hulk will tear off his shirt and body slam the Speaker of the House. Meanwhile, the shovel-faced mother will ask each congressional member in a steroid growl, "Do you want a piece of me?" No more will bills lie stalled and dying on the Senate floor, except, of course, those that involve funding for public radio. And if some pesky senator won't budge on his opposition to federal steroid subsidies, he'll just have to deal with the consequences in a cage match. Before taking on Congress, however, the Hogan administration must choose a cabinet. We can anticipate seeing old friends from the World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling in key positions. Bret the Hitman Hart is a shoo-in for Secretary of Defense. Nature Boy Ric Flair will succeed Bruce Babbitt as Secretary of the Interior. Cold Stone Steve Austin is the natural choice for Secretary of Energy, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, will be Secretary of Education. One cabinet member will stay on, and that is Attorney General Janet Reno. Not only must the Hogan administration retain a token female, but according to a recent poll, 46% of Americans believe Reno could take the Hulkster in a fight. Life under Hogan and his mighty cabinet will be a paradise for Americans. There will be a sport utility vehicle in every garage. And all the kids will have their own all-star cabinet action figures. Think of the marketing potential. War will be the best part of all. Instead of killing thousands with expensive bombs, the Hogan administration will arrange a tag team spectacular against leaders of opposing governments. The matches will be held in the Louisiana Superdome and broadcast on pay-per-view for those unable to attend in person. Saddam Hussein and his cronies won't stand a chance. Yes, America has a bright future in spite of radio talk show hosts. Just remember that election 2000 is coming soon. Don't vote for a suit who only wants to spoil your fun. Vote for real leaders, real men who have your best interests at heart. Usher in the new millennium by voting in the brand new all-star tag team kick-ass presidential cabinet 2000. Are you ready to rumble? There you have it.